This is episode 532, and today we're going to be talking about strengthening your integrity. Now, integrity is one of those core values or code of honors that I and I think most people hold very near and dear to themselves. But we have to take a better, closer look at integrity and then when do we slip because, it can be a slippery slope when we start to compromise on our integrity. So it's always great, just like we strengthen our muscles, we strengthen other things, to strengthen our integrity. And we're going to take a look at some of those ways to doing it. But being honest and having strong moral principles isn't really easy. However, life is easier when you live with integrity. This is because others can trust you, and that trust is useful even if it isn't easily earned. Um, Acting with integrity is harder in the short term, but inevitably down the road it will work. Because integrity is, again, it's like a muscle, right? You have to keep using it to strengthen it. And if you don't use it, you lose it. And life steadily gets easier when you act with integrity. That's because integrity gives you directions as to what to do. Integrity, when you're faced with a decision, there is no decision because if you're within integrity, you do it one way versus another. So there's no decisions on it. So let's take a look at how to strengthen your integrity. The first thing you can do is work on your own personal growth. See, developing yourself is an effective way to strengthen your integrity because your integrity is part of you, and as you personally grow, your integrity will strengthen. So as you grow as a person, you become more comfortable with yourself and feel less need to be inauthentic. And yes, being inauthentic is a form of being out of integrity. When you change yourself, when you behave differently, based on where you are, that could be a sign of being out of integrity. Now, if you were a ninja, behaving differently in different situations is part of your integrity because you want to blend in. But I don't think there's many ninjas on this podcast. So regularly, we want to talk about wherever you are, you want to be that same person. Be reliable. Oh my gosh, I can tell you that my mother put this into my head. And I think John Wooden also said you're either early or you're late. There is no on time. So when you're reliable, be on time, avoid canceling appointments, and do what you say you're going to do. This is something I learned from my mom and then also from sales, is that when somebody's expecting you at a certain time, you do everything you can to get there in that time. So for me in sales, if I had a meeting, I would get to the meeting a half hour early just so I knew I was there. And I would avoid canceling. So this holds true even with your friends and other acquaintances. If you're going to meet for lunch or for dinner, and something comes up, you don't cancel. You ask if it's okay to cancel. You want to get that other person's, in a sense, permission because you made a promise to them that you're going to show up at this place, have coffee, sandwich, beer, whatever it might be, and you just don't call up and go, I'm canceling, because that's kind of out of integrity. You can, though, however, say, hey, something came up, would you be okay if I cancel? Because that other person may have changed their whole schedule around to meet with you. So instead of just canceling, ask for permission to cancel, because then your integrity will be more intact. You see, it's easy to be reliable if you're under promise, right? If you say, yeah, I'll get it done by next Tuesday, well, that's kind of under delivering because you have a lot of time. But if you go, I'll get it done by tomorrow, that's stretching yourself. You stretch yourself, you keep your word, you get it done. Make a promise you know you can keep, and you'll never disappoint anyone. I mean, being reliable fits in with integrity, fits in with trust. And we have become so used to people showing up 2 minutes late, 3 minutes late. Now, when I coach my business clients, I encourage them, if you say the meeting starts at 8 o'clock, that means it starts. You don't show up at the meeting at 8. When you say it starts, it means you start giving the presentation. The people who are in the room will get it. The people who aren't in the room won't get it. So if you're going to start at 8, you say, please arrive 10 minutes ahead of time. The meeting will start promptly at 8. But a lot of people will come into meetings, get out, and they finally get started about 10, 15 minutes after. This is part of being within integrity. So be honest with yourself. This is number 3. Before you do or say something, question why you're really doing it. Right? We have a lot of hidden agendas in what we're doing. Is what's your real purpose behind doing something? Is it more self-serving at the expense of others, or are your motives more honorable? Self-awareness is a primary component of integrity. Like if you're going to go help somebody with a flat tire, right, the motive is to help the person. But if the person has a Ferrari and they're rich, is your intention to help them so you can ask for a loan, right? Or ask for money, whatever that might be, right? So we have to look at our intentions. Well, if I do this for this person, then I can ask him to do that. Then that's not being honest. But if you know that's what you're going to do, then by all means question why is that the case, but understand your motives behind your actions. Be gentle but honest. This gets a little bit dicey here, right? Do people believe that you're an honest person? Most people will go, yeah, they're pretty much honest. But do you lie to be comfortable or to pretend that you're something you're not? So, honesty isn't a license to tell a coworker that she's fat or perhaps his husband looks like a troll. We want to be honest, but we want to be gentle. And this is this fine line. This is the part of integrity that is very dicey, because if you say you're an honest person and somebody comes up to you and says, how do I look in this outfit? And it looks horrible. Are you going to be courageous enough to say, I think you'd look better in a different outfit, right? So we want to be gentle, or you could be blatant with it and go, that looks horrible on you. Well, that might not, you're honest, but it's not gentle. Gentle could be, you know what, I think you'd look better in a different outfit, different color. That is being gentle and honest. So a lot of people like to be direct, and that's, with my coaching, I'm very direct at times, but I'm also very gentle, if you will. So I do it all with compassion and love. And when we're with other people, we want to be gentle and honest when the occasion calls for it. If they ask you, tell me straight out, then tell them straight out. But this is something that can help you with your integrity as well. Live by your values each day. This is something that I really work with my clients on, is establishing those values, because we have different sets of values. We have our life values, we have values in relationship, we have values in job. Basically, a value is what's important to you about ... What's important to you about life? What's important to you about a relationship? And if you're unaware of your values, now is a perfect time to figure them out and list them. You work with a coach. There are several inexpensive and free online value assessments. They're all worded differently. You may want to take a variety of them and blend them together and find out what your values are. But know your values makes it easier to make decisions. So when you know your values, you know what decision to make. And integrity says, I'm going to stick with my values. So when you know your values and you stick with them, you're within integrity. Also, knowing your values makes your behavior more predictable, which makes others more comfortable. Not that we want to be predictable, but we want to be dependable. And so if somebody knows your value is fitness before socializing, they're going to know that if you're asked out for a drink or dinner or whatever, that you are going to go to the gym first and then you'll socialize. And they just know that and they expect it, and so they understand that. So know your values and live them each day. This is something that, I'm putting together a men's coaching group. And one of the topics we're going to talk about is a code of honor. And that code of honor is based on your values. And so values are extremely, extremely important. And then integrity is holding true to those values. Number 6, to strengthen your integrity, be willing to say no. When you say yes to things you don't want to do, you're not demonstrating integrity. Now, stop here for a second. Yes, if your boss or somebody, higher up the food chain at work asks you to do something, it may not be the best interest to say no, but there are ways to delicately say, so you can be honest and gentle. You can say, wow, this seems like a great project. I really love to take it on, but my bandwidth is limited because I have this. What are your thoughts on removing these two projects so I can take this one on, right? So you can negotiate by saying no in a gentle and honest way. But you don't have to take part in every opportunity that's presented to you. A friend says, hey, can you help me move? That's the big one, right? We all say no to that. But there are ways where you can just say no. A friend asked you out for coffee in the morning and you just got up out of bed and you want to relax. It's okay to say no. You're not saying no to the person that they're a bad person. You're saying no to the offer. And if the person who is offering you a coffee, whatever it might be, takes offense to it, they're taking that personally as opposed to you saying no to the offer. And what part of this is valuing your time. You have to value time. That's the one thing that we can never get back is our time. And so when you're faced with decisions to do something, it's okay to say no. Be honest and say no when you truly, truly mean it. Number 7, to strengthen your integrity, be more confident. Confident people are comfortable. Comfortable people are better able to act with integrity because there's no hesitation, there's no uptightness. It's comfort in there, or there's a comfortable and confident. A lack of integrity is often a response to discomfort. If we're not comfortable with something, we'll change our values, we'll do something else to be accepted, to not be criticized, whatever that might be. The more comfortable you are, or the more uncomfortable you are each day, the more likely your integrity will be challenged. Confidence and self-esteem are the answer. Work on these each day. There's this part of being uncomfortable out of your comfort zone, meaning doing something that expands you as a person. And when you do that, because confident is one of the C's in the 4 C's of mental strength, but if you're uncomfortable when it comes to your values, if you're making concessions on your values, that's where your integrity is going to change. If you're uncomfortable because you're doing something different, then your actual confidence will go up when you succeed and your integrity will go up as well. Number 8, stop doing the things you know you shouldn't be doing. We all know that. If you're stealing pens and Post-it notes from work, stop it. If you grab a coffee and you don't put a quarter in the kitty, stop it. Are you taking a handful of napkins from restaurants or fast foods to bring home? Stop it. All that is a form of stealing, whether you admit it or not, but that's part of integrity. If part of your integrity is that you're honest and you don't steal, then you don't steal. Those are very small, minor things, but how you do anything is a reflection of how you do everything. Where would you stop, quote, stealing or helping yourself, as some people say, to things? At one point will you stop? Where's that dividing line? And does that line move? If that line moves, then you're out of integrity. The line is drawn by your values, and then staying to them is your integrity. So think about your behavior and adjust it accordingly. Number 9, to help strengthen your integrity, be willing to stand up for something. Most of us have values and opinions, but few are willing to even share them, never mind stand up for them. Except on Facebook, because it's so innocent and we don't hurt anybody, we put it out there. We're all brave behind a Facebook screen, but put a person in front of another person and see how courageous they are to stand up for something. While others won't always agree with your stance, they will respect you for having them. And that can be standing up for no COVID vaccines. That could be standing up for you want to wear the masks. That could be standing up for the betterment of animals. Whatever that is, take a stand for something. Yeah, there are extremes on either end, right? These outliners that are extreme leftists and extreme rightists, and I'm not talking about that, but stand up for something that you believe in. When you believe in something and make that point known and you stand confidently in that power, you will strengthen your integrity. So here's the thing. Live your life with integrity. You will see how much more joy it brings. It appears to be more challenging than on the surface to live with integrity. But as you build that muscle, it'll become easier and easier. But living with integrity is easier in the long run because you build up this momentum, you build up the strength. You'll be more respected and experience more success. So if you'd like to find out more about strengthening your integrity, you can visit warriormindcoach.com, see the show notes for this podcast. There's other blog posts on there, or you can scroll down to the bottom and contact me for a introductory consultation. And while you're on the internet over at my site, bop around to LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and follow me under Warrior Mindset.